Go ahead. Probably do all good up here. You want me to come walk spot for you? 10-4, I'm 3-7. So it's 355, Central Call, Unit. Be advised, suspect is on possibly be dealing with a hood. You got 2 males walking up. We can't tell if it's any hood or not. They stopped and turned around. They're going back towards the B building. The vehicle. That's it. I got a key witness down here. The brother of Jeremy Hood. Jeremy Hood is going to be in suspect. Now, I think we got a deputy or somebody out with him in front of the building. That's 10-4. I'm out with it. 33, I'm down here with the building. Last safety 2207. Can we tell anybody's assault? We got the Indian guys on the way, waiting in. Alright, this girl come down, so they say the yellow tape, they come off the side. That's what I get with them there. We got one land work out. We need to know who's actually inside Timber Chase at this time. I'm on broadcast, either in particular you want me. Look on the map and get as close as you can on that road to this apartment complex. That's going to be down here at the very bottom of it, our back road. The guy I've got here is, just down inside Timber Chase on our side, please. Special. If you see where it's so fine, the deputy is down in front of the pay building inside the perimeter we're trying to establish. Simple. ADSO over at Sycamore Drive, advised. 3-6. Airport. 3-6. They're trying to get you on SO. Respond to 2235 and give your location, please. Dealing with the 2 guys there. They're asking about my radio's not working on West. I have McGahee and Reginald Foster right here. 2393, are you clear on all that? Oh, tell that deputy, look to his right, he'll see me. I want those 2, I want him and those 2 to come to me. 15 clear, but there's no proof. 1615 on that sub. Central Command Post. 1040, Lieutenant Coker. Red 40. 10-4. As quick as we can with these additional officers that arrive, it needs something to do. If we can get them in this complex directly across from Timber Chase, the red brick one, I would appreciate it. And for you want to set the perimeter there for us? Either that or get in there and start talking to folks. There are a lot of people out on the backside, and the suspect has an address in that complex. So we need to get all units on one town. We got a deputy unit walking around by himself. It's got a probability of 235 Sycamore.
His radio is 107-481. We can switch over all to another frequency if you'd like.
FO unit inside Timber Chase. FO unit inside Timber Chase. Just don't think you want everything in the car yet?
side unit that's on east, switch to event 1 for your traffic. Any west side unit that is not seen on east, switch to event 1 for regular dispatch for calls.
Subject's gonna be a black male, 5'8", light complexion, in his 30s, bald, 170 to 180 pounds, wearing jean shorts, bald head, white t-shirt with a yellow design on the front. $33.55.
Total information for Jamie Hood.
Temple. Temple.
37, quick as you can, get the officer hitting over on that side with you, boys. There's a lot of people out over there, all on our backside, okay? Okay, let's have them shoot them to me when they come back. Just be clear, Rand and Miles are going in to locate the deputy that we can't raise on the radio there. That deputy is now, he was cleared out, he's up here at the, Maroon car with Kelly. Drag him off, pull back to your car, boys.
That's all, yes, for copy information of Jamie Hood. That's all, yes, Jamie Donnell Hood, black male, 33 years of age, 5'9", 175. Temple.
If you don't mind, please switch to west.
Temple, you're updated.
All right, and apparently, I guess the police presence is over here.
Yeah, they're everywhere right now.
Okay. And it's also to let them know that we have this going on, and, I don't know if they can drive through here. I think they're probably on the property, maybe even looking right now, I don't know.
Okay, hang on one second. Actually, there may be actually pursuing the suspect now. Hang on.
from west side, possibly now maybe in a silver Geo Prism. Last three digits of the tag are 375 silver Geo Prism, last seen on Epsbridge at Windy Hill Way in Oconee County.
Yes, that's bridge and way to go court. We're on that bridge, Parkway.
I'm on that bridge, start there all day.
Temple.
It's not the end of that bridge and Windy Hill.
Temple.
I'm sorry, you're being on where? 10-4.
Go ahead.
Whatever is not tied up, you might have to post up the Atlantic Road area as well.
Temple.
13 to 22 to 37. What's 13? Hey, what's the 20? Okay, down here, I think it's Timber Chase. Be on the right side. 10-4, Sergeant McGee's moved up this way. Keep an eye on that perimeter, make sure we keep it covered well. Okay. 31 units offset, got clear on the time frame. She called in that she was carved out, dropped off at Windy Hill and Epsbridge. And when she got into a car with another friend and called the police. She did say that the suspect was armed and they said he was running from the police.
Central Waterville 663. West side units are requesting that Waterville post on the Atlantic Road area.
That's it, we'll be left.
10-4, 662 with you.
That's it, we'll.
10-4.
This is regard to that silver Geo Prism.
It's in regard to the west side shooting, 10-4.
That's it, we'll. Level 3 Central.
Level 3.
Any other units responding out here need to come to Sycamore, the entrance to Rain Tree Condominium, that's where we had the command post set up now.
Temple.
And they say what he was on with.
And Mr. McGreevy, does that complete the second set of tracks that you created in response to our request?
Yes, ma'am.
And is there in fact a third but shorter set of requests?
Yes, ma'am.
If I could have just one moment just to get set so that all of those will play. I'm going to play those now, Your Honor.
What number?
Is the third set of tracks off of also states Exhibit 687?
All right.
in Oconee, possibly a silver prism with a partial tag. Last 375 repeating. Suspect on possible shooting, left side, possibly took a car, jacked the car from a subject in Oconee, silver prism. Partial tag of 375, last 375, no further.
Sorry, I don't know on that last car.
10-4, 365, silver geo prism, black male, white shirt, outer loop going towards South Village.
Last 6 Central, we're heading that way.
Temple.
I'm not out of loop, my village, hold on.
Jackson 8. Jackson 8 to the Tony Street. High rate of speed.
To 97. Go ahead, sir. Can you read towards the beginning of your car? Got it. Go ahead, we're coming up on the intersection now. Get forward, let's turn down now. Let's check on the whole road. Go ahead. Go.
Contact on all roads.
We can't be good. Atlantic Road.
Mr. McGreevy, if I could, I'd like to ask you a couple of follow-up questions about the two sets of tracks that we just heard. First of all, if we could look at the second set of tracks, the first set we played today, the second set overall, I should say. If we could look at track number 58. If I could ask you first of all, sir, to tell us for the record, are you able to determine from looking at this text file the time at which that particular call or transmission took place?
2:06 and 57 seconds.
And just to put that in context, at what time was it? Do you have your notes in front of you, I should ask you?
I did.
So are you able to tell us at what time it was that the call came out where an individual whom you have identified as Officer Christian yelled out, "Oh my God, I'm shot, Central, I'm shot"?
Yeah, that was at 1:26.
Thank you. And then track number 58 on this second set of transmissions you said was at 2:06 and some seconds, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And if I could ask you, it's about a 30-second track. And I'd let you hear that to refresh what that's about. And Mr. McGreevy, with respect to that particular track, when someone says, if I understood them correctly, 2231 to Central, and then talks about a carjack. Do you personally know who Officer 2231 is, either by number or by having heard that voice?
Both. It's Sergeant Kincaid.
Thank you. And then if I could direct your attention to track number 88 on that same set of tracks. And ask you first of all, I'm looking at this text file, are you able to determine the point in time at which that transmission took place?
At 2:10.
And do you have your notes in front of you to refresh your recollection as to who it was that made that transmission and what the general content of that was?
Yeah. Your Lieutenant Whitmore asks one of his sergeants his location. Sergeant gives the location at Timber Chase. Then Sergeant Kincaid comes back on. He advised that the victim, not sure if the time frame was dropped off at Windy Hill, said that the suspect was armed and said he was running from the police.
And then as we hear some of the ensuing traffic after that, can you tell us, you don't have to refer to any one specific track, but what generally are we listening to with some of those ensuing tracks after that?
You have east side and west side transmissions. Information is being given out on west side. What's happening in central communications, you have two different dispatchers who are listening to their frequencies. So you'll have the incident began to move over to the east side from the west side. That's where all this information was being given out. So the east side dispatcher had incomplete information because she wasn't listening to the west side. She's not supposed to. She's supposed to focus on her frequency. So the transmission of some of the information is a little bit delayed. As she's trying to catch up, she's dealing with other things on the east side and then trying to get information relayed either verbally or she's trying to read the call and get the updates and pass it along. Officers are trying to get updated information. They're trying to pass information back and forth.
And there are times at which I believe I heard references to GSP or Georgia State Patrol, is that correct?
That is.
And did they ultimately become involved in this incident?
They were, yes ma'am.
And what type of vehicle or vehicles did they use in assisting Athens Park County in this incident?
They have a helicopter aviation unit that was deployed out there. We had set up connection through our radio system. Some of that was heard. They were not on the west frequency, so the connection is not as good as it is on west or on east, but we were able eventually to make contact with them and pass along information to them.
And the track at which we stopped, which was track number 59 on that third set of digital files that you produced us, is that in fact the end of this incident as a whole, just so that's clear?
No.
Did it go on for quite some time after that, even just on March 22nd, 2011?
Yes, ma'am.
And Mr. McGreevy, if I could ask you about some different types of things for a few minutes, please, sir. First of all, if you could tell us, over at the 911 Center, are the only types of files or business records that you maintain, are those only digital, like the tracks that we've played here?
No, we maintain many, many different kinds of.
Do you maintain any sort of written records of the types of events that we've heard, the audio files from yesterday about the carjacking and kidnapping of Judon Brooks, or written files that might pertain, for example, to this murder and the shooting?
I'm not sure what you're referring to by
Sure.
written file.
At some point, do you ever generate written reports like event searches or CAD reports?
Sure, yes.
And can you tell us, first of all, Mr. McGreevy, what is an event search?
In our CAD system, our computer system, we have, every time we enter something into it, it's stored as timestamp, and we have that. Every time we create an event in CAD, when an officer calls out with something, someone calls up to report something, we create an event in CAD. That's how we refer to it. And all of those are stored in our CAD system, and we have something called Event Search. And Event Search is simply a search program to look for different events that we have had in the past. So we can search events by location, by time frame, by officer involvement, whether or not there was a case number, many different parameters we can set up. We can search for different information. So I can find something that happened 7 years ago. If you can give me enough information, I can scroll through. Eventually I can find it. But Event Search is simply a way for us to access information in our system.
And if I could show you what I'm going to mark as State's Exhibit number 688, please. If you'll just give him a slate, I'm going to show that to Mr. Hood first. And could you tell me, do you recognize the document that's been marked as State's Exhibit number 688?
I do.
And what is that, Mr. McGreevy?
This is the CAD printout from the Event Search on the kidnapping, carjacking that occurred at Lexington Road in Winterville.
And can you just tell us some of the types of information that would reflect in written form?
Okay, well, first off, it gives us the date, the time that it was created, the agency, which was police department, the event type that we entered it into or updated in CAD, the zone where it occurred, which group, east, west, SO, downtown, whatever it happened to be. Location, we have caller information on the cell tower where the signal bounced off of. We have phone number, we have call source showing Annie Alley, meaning it was a 911 call. After that, we have remarks, and these are things that call takers put into it. It will give you what they typed in, who typed it in, the time, what terminal they were at. If officers type things in through their laptops in their cars, it'll give their name, it'll give the time they put it in, it'll put in their terminal number.
And do you ever, actually, let me back up for 1 second, I'm sorry. Is an event search the type of record that you maintain in the ordinary course of your employment?
Yes.
And is maintaining as one of your day-to-day duties?
Yes, ma'am.
And does the particular event search that I just handed you that is marked State's Exhibit number 688, does that truly and accurately reflect the event search which you located for the carjacking and kidnapping pertaining to Judon Brooks on March 22nd, 2011?
Yes, ma'am.
And Your Honor, we would move to tender State's Exhibit number 688.
Any objection? No, sir, Your Honor. This is it.
And Mr. McGreevy, if I could hand to the bailiff for distribution what has previously been marked as State's Exhibit number 689, please.